What are you doing? Kaidyn, what are you doing?
Being a race, you gotta think like a racer. You gotta get in the zone.
I mean, he's got this thing on the stand and already sitting in it, and I'm thinking like, this is not really that smart because
This had a game, this is a lifestyle.
he could flip over.
Welcome back to the channel. Well, what is it, Nikki? Another
Race
day.
Oh.
Another day, another dollar. It is race day. We're way ahead of the Mountain Creek Speedway, like clockwork.
Well, we made it out here to Mountain Creek.
These people know how to party. That's how me and my dad used to do it. Look at it. So the heck with that caddy. Put the go-kart in the back. We're going racing. That's freaking awesome. I love it. And well, look at this. We got a subscriber out here. He says here he got his own little YouTube channel. He says he ain't posted nothing in a while. You know, I'm sitting. You know me. I always try to motivate people. So y'all go down in the comments and tell Jeff Impey that he needs to go through and post some more videos. We want to watch his content. Tell him we ain't shy. Just tell him. Look at him. And tell all you gotta do is get in front of him. Race recap. So I went out in my for practice or qualifying and ran. I finished third by the time, because basically your practice, when you're out there, whoever has the fastest practice lap, they start on the pole, and then on and on. Also, we finished third on it with like a 12.4, I think. Well, I ended up, like I said, I third on that, but when I come across the scale, I was 2 pounds light. So that threw me to the rear of the heat race. So I'm at the rear of the heat race, and I'm behind the riffraff, just trying to watch everybody beat and bang and trying to figure the cart out. Well, ended up, I had changed the air pressures around the cart to try a little different for the conditions. And when I did, I turned around and the cart just, it would push in 3 and 4. I mean, it was rough. Plus the track wasn't quite as good as it was last week, in my opinion, as far as the clay and stuff. They put that new clay down and it was magical. This week it's kind of like, I took a beating. But ended up, I went through and going out for the heat. Like I said, I finished, I think, 5th in the heat race. I changed the gear around because I figured it was going to get a little faster in the main. And I geared it down, and the cart just, it didn't have no power coming out the corners, not like I'm used to. I could feel the motor binding, and it was just, well, what it was. So I finished 5th in the heat race again, which, looking at the lap time, is where I should have been, because the 2 carts in front of me had better lap time. Even though I felt like a few laps I was gaining on them, and I run out of time before I really got my rhythm. Like I also, since the cart had pushed in the heat race, I decided to go through and lift washers. Washers is what goes underneath the spindles and space them up and down. So I dropped 1 washer on my driver's side, which would put that wheel down. And I went up 2 washers on the right side, so it would take some of what's called cross weight. Cross weight is how much pressure the right front to left rear has on it. And when you have a live axle go-kart or something live axle, the more weight and the more cross it has, which is more pressure point on the right front, left rear, the more the cart wants to go straight, because them wheels go straight. You know, it makes sense. So I went up 2 washers, that way it teeter-tottered. It took some bite off the left rear, and it seemed to help. I probably need to go another washer if I had to guess, because I was doing okay, but I wasn't. I didn't have the right gear. I was out of it. Like I said, I had fun. I just beat the crap out of me. Kaidyn finishes 3rd. So Kaidyn decided he wanted to gear the cart down, because we thought it, like I said, I geared mine down, he geared his down. We thought the track was going to be a little looser than what it was, and we were going to be a little faster than what we were. And ended up, his was just, it was flat coming out the corners. It was bogging. It just wouldn't come off the corners like it's supposed to. So we'll get it all patched up this week, get everything cleaned up. Noticed a bunch of dirt in Kaidyn's carburetor. So I'm gonna buy 2 new air filters for the go-kart. Anybody see anything wrong with this? I race, I work, I'm tired. I come home cooking that for that one while she does that. Yeah, that made, don't she lucky. Told you she was lucky.